Hi, everyone. This is your favorite realtor, Norm O'Neill with Keller Williams Realty, callnorm.com. Today, I've got a great guest joining me. It's Kyle Manikas from Virginia Estate Planning Lawyer.com. And we're going to talk about probate, estates, real estate, something that comes up a lot in this day and age, and Kyle has a ton of experience with this, so I'm really looking forward to the conversation. Let's jump right in. Welcome, Kyle.
Well, thank you, Norm. I appreciate you having me. I always take the opportunity to talk to folks when they're interested in this subject. It's something I think everybody can benefit from, so if someone has an interest, I'm always happy to discuss, so thanks for inviting me today.
It's my pleasure, my pleasure. I think this conversation, and my clients definitely want to hear what you have to say about this, and I know your clients do too as well. Again, it's so important for folks to talk with you, learn their options, and you're really talking about protecting family here, our relatives, your own kids.
You're right, it is so individualized, Norm. There is not a one size fits all, and that's why I always start my process with a questionnaire. And and I try not to make it too overwhelming. It's a 20 or 30 minute, exercise, but it's important because it collects information about a particular person's family. It also collects information on the assets, and that's important because when we sit down, I want to give them advice as to what's appropriate for them because it's going to be specific to their situation. And, one of the failings in estate planning is this idea that the documents by themselves take care of all the problems. And the documents are only as good as the process that accompanies them. And, I could give you examples all day long of people who've come to me who've went to a documents-only attorney and signed the documents and thought they were in great shape, and then the spouse died and it was a total disaster, and the exact opposite of what they wanted to happen happened. And part of the reason is, again, it goes back to the process. And that's why in that questionnaire, I capture that information so that not only do I have that information to draft the documents, but then we have a list of assets that we work through. As the representation continues, I can advise them, my client, as to how do you coordinate that asset with your trust? Do you update the beneficiary designation? Do you change the title? Do you need some other assignment document? But I want to make sure when they walk out of my office that I not only have the estate planning documents, but they understand how to coordinate their assets with that estate plan so that works. And that is fundamental way that I've designed my practice because it is different than sort of the paper shuffling that many estate planning attorneys do. It's what makes this work at the end, as opposed to just being an expensive, false sense of security.
Fantastic, Kyle. I'm hearing you say the way you communicate with your clients, it keeps them engaged and specifically how it affects their life in real time, affects their family's life.
Right.
It's you're able to really add so much value over a tough topic.
Yeah, Norm, that's a great point. I mean, so much of this is how you interact with the clients, right? And having been an attorney, 24 years, what I actually enjoy the most is the counseling of the client, the strategic, right? The planning, like that's what I like to get into. And that's where I think my value is. And the documents really just memorialize that, right? And that's why I say the documents are only as good as the process. The process is in the attorney's brain, and that comes to fruition by speaking with the client and understanding what the client wants. And I don't ever want to be in a situation where I say to the client, you need X, Y, and Z. I want to explain what X, Y, and Z are. And I want the client to decide, yeah, that's the way I want to go. I like that. That's my decision. And I think that's an important part of this.
It's so important. I love giving the advice and then supporting their decision. Tell me, Kyle, what would you say are best practices around how a realtor and an estate attorney could work together to ensure, a home sale would align with a client's estate plan?
Yeah. So I want to talk to you both about a primary residence and an investment property. So on a primary residence, this is why setting up a trust, at least on the investment side, earlier is better than later, because when you purchase a home or, sell your home and purchase another home, you can title that home directly into the trust, right? When you take title, at the closing, you take it directly into your trust. And that's if it's a revocable trust. And I draft my trust in a way so that Article 1 lays out all the information that the mortgage company would want to see to feel comfortable titling a home in a revocable trust, right? So That's the important part of that. It becomes even more important for somebody that is thinking about investing in a second piece of property, right? That's not the primary residence, that's their investment property. And the reason it's important to act sooner rather than later is there's often, as you know, Norm, a due on transfer clause in most mortgages that if you deeded that property over to a trust, they could immediately accelerate the entire loan. There's a law called Garn St. Germain, and that law says for primary mortgages, you disregard that. For primary residences, you disregard that language, right?
They're
Now, when it
protected
comes
under
to
primary.
that's right, as to the primary. Now, when it comes to investment property, it is enforceable. So before investment property is transferred into a trust, what you do is you reach out as the borrower to the lender, just explaining you're doing your estate planning. This is a revocable trust. Would you agree to the transfer into the trust? They always agree, right? You just don't want to do it without asking, right?
Sure.
Now, I haven't had one that hasn't agreed. In theory, it could be a business practice that they use to get out from under low interest loans. That may and could violate some federal laws. That's not my expertise, but in practice, they generally don't have an issue with it going into a revocable trust. Now, if you told them you're transferring it into an irrevocable trust, they have some issues with it, and I understand that. But we're talking revocable trust here because they want to they want to be able. At the end of the day, they want to be able to foreclose on the property if they need to. That's their interest, right? And the mortgage stays in whoever name that it is, signed under. We're just talking the deed here, as to how it's recorded with county land records.
Asset protection, exactly.
Yeah. Is that clear? How I said that, Norm, or was that a little confusing?
No, I thought it was really clear. What I took away from that is investment properties and primary properties are different the way they're treated, and then the other piece of this is just because it's in a trust doesn't really mean it complicates your ability to refinance or things like that. It's pretty straightforward once you get it rolling.
That's right. Yeah, a revocable trust is meant to be very user friendly. You can take things out or put things in at will. You don't have to ask anyone's permission as the grantor.
Yeah.
Right, and that's important for people. They're the only beneficiaries. They make all the decisions. There's no tax consequence to putting things in that trust. There's no tax consequence to taking them out. There's no separate tax ID required. There's no separate IRS tax form required. None of that. It's very user-friendly. It all operates as essentially your alter ego, but accomplishes all the estate planning objectives at the same time.
Excellent, Kyle. When you say user-friendly, I need more of that in my life. Anything that's user-friendly, bring it on.
Yeah, no, and that's key, especially in this area, because if you look at the language in my trust, they're written in plain English, because somebody has to pick up that trust and administer it. And if it, is complicated and impossible to understand, it's going to frustrate the purpose. So don't want to do that. So my work is very easily understood and interpreted.
Love that. Gosh, that's excellent. I mean, just for a minute, what would like a range of be for fees?
So it really, again, it goes back to, not everybody needs the same thing, and, everybody's different. But for most people to get set up with a trust package, it's usually in the range of $5,000, right? It can go up for more complexity. But again, that's more than just the trust. That's everything you need. That's the trust. That's all the ancillary trust documents. It's what they call a pour-over will to back up the trust. It's a financial power of attorney, medical power of attorney, HIPAA release, advanced healthcare directive, right? All the things that you need to have a complete plan and be protected both while you're alive and after you pass away. That's what's included in the plan.
I love that. It sounds very comprehensive. And like you said, you want to make it easier down the road with next steps, and comprehensive is the way to go. Thank you for that, Kyle. Well, we are wrapping up. I'd love, if you don't mind, would you share the best way for people to get in touch with you?
Yeah. So I'm pretty accessible. My cell phone, which you're welcome to text me, sort of as an initial point of contact, that's 703-304-8390. My email is kmanikas, that's KMANIKAS @manikasplc.com. My office line, which is 703-520-1400, can reach me there as well. So any of those places, and also you can go directly on my website. There's a contact us. There's a place to also schedule a 15-minute call. So any of those avenues is a great way to initially connect with me.
Perfect, Kyle. You've given us so much good information, food for thought. It made me think of additional questions. So I love that we have a connection. I look forward to our clients touching base with each of us with their own personal questions or comments down below. I'm Norm O'Neill with Keller Williams Realty. Questions, concerns, hallucinations, call Norm.
I like that. It's great. It's a pleasure talking with you. And of course, save those questions, because be happy to do this again sometime.
We'll look forward to that. Thank you, everyone, for joining.